Alright,
Bullseye.
I have 3 jokes to start us off, and I couldn't decide which one was actually funny. So we're going to do them all and just hope that one of them's funny. The first intro is that was obviously fucking Kingpin in this episode. That was Kingpin. I know it's Kingpin. You can't fool me. You should have showed him. I look awful. My second joke, which isn't really a joke, is just that I got these gingerbread Marvel characters as figures, and I think they're cute, and I just wanted to acknowledge they're there, so they'll just pop up here and there. Again, I wasn't kidding when I said none of these are actually jokes. So we're getting to where maybe they're funny. I have Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, and Black Panther, so they'll just all sort of pop up throughout the video. That was the Black Panther one. And last and most importantly, this is a 10 out of 10. Fuck you, Jack.
Bullseye. That was a bullseye. You fired away correctly. Good job.
That's a different Marvel character.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Disney Plus Pals, Episode 3 of Hawkeye. It's kind of ironic to me that this is clearly the best one when the Loki Episode 3 wasn't that great. I am joined by a jack of all trades and Sherry the Diz Wiz.
I'm wearing an ugly sweater.
It feels like this episode came out forever ago, but it came out last night at 3 a.m. for me. I gotta be real, dude. I cried my eyes out. This was the episode, like, you know how I was like, oh, it's missing something, I don't really know what it is. It's kind of doing the slow burn, I'm not completely sure if I'm getting into it. This episode kind of made me realize the two things it was missing. Number one, I wanted them to dig deeper into Clint, so I got that this episode. And number two, arrows. It was missing arrows, and I didn't even realize. The first episode, I think it has that one scene where Kate breaks the bell and then no more archery. And the second one, it has no archery at all except for Kate shooting one thing. And this one, they just compensated. They realized, okay, we didn't have the arrows, we gotta make this cool. Clint's shooting people in the hands, Clint's using some of the arrows from the comics. It was great. I loved it. I'm satisfied, and I was crying my eyes out this whole episode. So, yeah, I spoiler alert, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I don't think anyone else will, but I absolutely adored it, and this is when I literally said, I'm gonna try to keep my bias in check, but just like with our ratings, there's a limit. There's a limit where you have to no longer keep your bias in check. It's not an 11, but it's a 10 for me.
I should have done that with Rise of the Guardian slasher. I should have.
Anyways, you guys are good to talk now. I've done my intro. I'm ready. Shower me in your opinions.
Fire away, Jack. Fire away.
A 10?
It's a 10. It is
Ooh.
a 10.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I did like it. Of course I liked it. It was good. I'm enjoying the series.
I was about to get my ticket to go kick your ass.
Oh?
No, I feel you. I thought there was more here for me. I thought there was more meat for me, more comic book stuff for me. I really thought it gave me what I wanted. But, you know, the show always is going to have an advantage with me because I love the source material just so much. So, I get it. It's completely understandable if people don't like it the way I like it.
No, on your very first, joke, yeah, Fisk, 100%.
Oh yeah, that's Kingman.
D'Onofrio, you are not convincing me otherwise.
I remember how in the first episode, I was trying to be vague about whether or not it could be Kingpin because I wanted there to be a surprise for people. I think I mentioned it kind of directly a couple of times. That was straight up fucking Kingpin. I can't ignore that. Like, it's not even a Kang the Conqueror situation where we're like, maybe this will happen. No, that was him. That was his hand. And when they say uncle, that's Wilson Fisk. It's obviously him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was voice. I'm like, I went back and listened to it like 3 times. I'm like, I guess it could be some actor I've never heard of. Or it's him.
I mean, I guess the jury is still out whether or not it's Vincent D'Onofrio. But I guarantee you that's Kingpin. It makes too much sense to be Kingpin. I also guarantee you that Vincent D'Onofrio is kind of perfect for Kingpin, so if it's not him, that's weird. I've also heard rumors that Kingpin might have a bit of a redesign. So I wonder what that will look like. I did notice they just showed the hand, so if there were room for, like, I don't know, CG to make him look like a giant fucking hippo man.
On a hippopotamus for Christmas.
That could happen, dude. Look, we live in a world where Colossus was brought straight from the comic book to the big screen TV in Deadpool. So we can literally do anything now, as far as I'm concerned.
And this is with that money as well, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, God, can we just talk about the budgets of these shows? We're not even talking about the show for a minute. I just want to talk about, like, how beautifully they're all shot. How, like, because when you watch, like, TV, like the CW, DC shows, for example, the CGI that is used is, like, not great. And a lot of times you gotta be like, okay, well, it's a TV show. This isn't gonna be great. And then you look at Disney Plus and it's like, Game of Thrones dragons levels of, like, dope.
I will agree with that. I mean, both my mom and I, we actually like to watch some of the DC, CW shows for DC. I mean, ours was like Black Lightning because of our culture, and we just felt really happy with that. I haven't finished watching all of Black Lightning. I tried watching Supergirl, but I stopped after season 2. I tried watching Flash. I tried watching Arrow. I don't know. I never seen Legends of Tomorrow though, but
Legends of Tomorrow is okay. It's goofy. My advice for Supergirl: there's a season where they start adapting stuff with Brainiac 5 and this character named Dreamer. That's when Supergirl actually starts getting good, like legit good. But I've actually watched pretty much all of those as well. I think it's season 4 when it starts getting good.
oh, I haven't seen Stargirl either. Nope.
Boy, DC discussions.
Yeah.
Well, this is my favorite DC character, the Enchantress, right here. So, fitting. But,
dances.
ladies and gentlemen, if you believe that this show has no structure, you're right. But there's one knight out there who makes sure that we get there in the end. And that is Jack of all trades. Jack, we need your notes once again. You are the center of every episode because literally you are the structure. If you leave, we will just die. We will
especially me because I'm the
into
group. I'm totally the chaotic.
You literally give me gravity. I will float into the air if you leave.
Well, I'm just gonna flash up my notebook because at the end of last episode I wrote Yelena. And then it's right. Fisk.
I'm sorry, that makes me laugh my ass off. Here's the thing. I wanted to posit a theory about Yelena before we even get started. Now, I've fought this since the beginning, and I've been scared of this idea. What if the after-credit scene of Hawkeye is literally Yelena just kills him? Yelena snipes him from a distance, he dies, and Kate's the new Hawkeye. I've been terrified of this idea for a while. I think it could theoretically happen. Because, like, if you're following the structure of the story, he killed a bunch of people. He has to make amends for killing all those people. How is he going to do that? And I think one of the ways is he could theoretically become more of that superhero character that Kate's trying to make him become. Maybe that's how he makes amends. Or alternatively, he just fucking bites it. He could just die. What do you guys think Yelena's presence is going to be in the show? Because I'm kind of leaning towards cameo now. I don't know if she's going to be a big player.
Yeah, we are sort of halfway through now, so I think it'll be her leading or working Tracksuit Mafia. But now, from what you've said, I am a little worried that it might just be post-credit scene of the final episode. John Walker and Val walk in. It's like, hey, yeah, come on, we're going on a mission. We got this Captain America guy. Let's go do our thing. Never see them again.
There is a way to make this work, because if you'll remember, the Black Panther stuff, the Wakanda stuff from Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was teased at the end of episode 3, but it really only came into prevalence after episode 4. So if Yelena has sort of that role that the Adore Milaje had in Falcon and Winter Soldier, where she just is popping up, she gets like a few interactions, maybe a fight scene, I could see it working. Did you see Black Widow, Sher? I don't think I've ever asked you. We're judging you. I hope you.
I've seen... I'll be completely honest, I've seen bits and pieces. Because my family wanted to watch Black Widow together, but I was in the middle of getting ready for a nursing test, a nursing midterm. So I've seen bits and pieces, so I kind of get it, but I don't kind of get it. But I was able to watch Shang-Chi.
Nice.
Now, to be fair, that's the better movie, yeah. So, claps for you. I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here, and if I had the choice between the two, yeah, Shang-Chi. All the way. But, yeah, so you don't really know the character of Yelena, which is ironic, because you would love her. Personality-wise, she is very similar to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool beans.
It's on Disney Plus now, so whenever you get the chance.
There's one scene where she's, talking to Natasha, and she's like, you're a poser, because you're always posing when you do the thing with your arm, and you'll just crank your hair. It is probably one of the funniest things. But yeah, I hope Yelena shows up. I really hope she just doesn't cap somebody and leave. I'm worried about this whole this Thunderbolts, or this new team of heroes that Val is assembling. Because U.S. Agent and Hawkeye, according to my friend Skylar, I actually didn't know this, have a history of sort of a rivalry between the two. So I wonder if maybe Clint could join the Thunderbolts. I don't know. There's questions here. I would just really hate it if, it's finally I got everything I ever wanted. Character's dead.
Yeah. I don't feel like they do that. I feel like Clint would get a quiet retirement at this point. If anything.
I mean, it's fitting to the character. I would love to see him in other stuff, though. Jeremy Renner was actually asked, what would you like to happen with the character? And he said, well, at one point, Hawkeye ends up leading the East Coast Avengers. So he was like, I would love to see this character in a leader position. Because I honestly don't know how he would handle that, just like how he is having trouble handling being a superhero. But Jack, once again, your beautiful notes take us on a journey.
So the episode sort of started off with, other than Fisk, Echo Maya, I think was her name.
Maya.
Maya.
Yeah.
I literally put in the comments on Skype. I'm 8 minutes in. I'm already bawling my eyes out. It is so sad, and God, I just was like, and my parents were looking over us. They're like, no, I was like, okay. I'm watching something. I can't because my parents, mainly my dad, gets really angry whenever I watch something that he wanted to watch, and that's why I'm up here because I don't want him to know that I'm reviewing Hawkeye with you guys. So.
You're sneaky. You're sneaky, is what you are.
The sneak.
Yeah, but she's deaf and she has amputation, and I was like, oh, I was like, oh, bless this girl, bless this girl, kicking butt in the freaking martial arts, which was me when I was in martial arts, because I was pretty much with for majority of my black belt years, which would be like 2013 to 2018, 2017. I was basically the only female, and I had to work just as hard as the other dudes. And I know it's probably like you're cheesy, like, oh, girls can do what anyone else can do, but I lived through that. I had to work as hard as everyone else. My sensei treat me the exact same way. He didn't take it easy on me. He pushed me to my limit to the point where sometimes I would cry in frustration because I was second guessing myself. And when he chose me to help him teach the little kids around like 2013, because his former students left for college, so I was kind of his next, person to teach. And in tournaments, he would always be there with me. And I almost got disqualified because I kicked a girl in the face, but but don't worry, when I was a yellow belt, I got kicked in the jaw and I passed
So you
out.
resonated with Echo.
Nice.
Yes, little 8-year-old Sherry got kicked in the jaw and passed out.
I trust when you kick the girl in the face, your leg wasn't also made of metal, though.
No, no. What I did,
I
it was kind of like
wish.
it was so the first time I did it, it was like a drop kick towards like the helmet because we had to wear helmets. But the second time I did this thing called a turning whip kick where you turn and you do that type of maneuver. So I did that across the girl's face and I almost got disqualified. Mind you, I was 15 at the time, so.
When I was in karate, my sensei gave me a gun and a tracksuit, and we stole this watch.
You almost stole this watch, and then a dog showed up out of nowhere.
Did they steal the watch? That is still
I
so
don't
up in
know.
the air.
I don't know.
That is the one thing where I'm like, what the fuck happened? Did he eat
Yeah,
the
'cause
watch?
they bring it up again this episode. They ask, oh, what were they there? What did they go to the auction for? What were they trying to get their hands on?
And we know as the viewers they got the watch, or didn't get the watch, or maybe Lucky ate the watch. I do think there's a solid chance the end of this is going to be Lucky ate the watch. They're trying to get Lucky.
Oh, Lucky ate the watch, the hourglass. He's magically delicious.
That reminds me of Loki charms. I never did buy those.
I never did either because my parents said we didn't have any money.
They were just Lucky Charms, but I wanted the box.
I wanted the box too. No,
I think that with Echo, I utterly loved it. It baffles me that we have come so far because, there are superheroes who get their own movies. There are characters who essentially the sequel is about, like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, how long was her origin? It was like the intro to this episode. I want to say like a solid 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like 7 or 8 minutes if I remember correctly. Yeah, because with her father, she was speaking like American Sign Language, and I've always wanted to learn. I've always wanted to learn sign language. It's so
They nailed it. Even
yeah.
with a character who does not speak. Immediately I was invested and I cared about her so deeply, which is why it broke my heart a little bit knowing that, like, at least for now she's an antagonist. I kind of wanted to root for her. And that's how powerful some of this writing can be. Like, if you do it right.
Yeah.
I just, like, I adored her, and the fact that her dad called her Little Dragon or My Little Dragon, it
Yeah.
honestly made me fucking hate Clint a little. Because
Yeah,
I was.
when he said Little Dragon, it reminded me of like Ryan the Last Dragon when he called Raya Dewdrop. I was like, I'm gonna cry.
I do have a theory that maybe just maybe, it wasn't Clint. And here's that theory. I think that it is possible. Jack, did you just freeze?
Jack Frost. Jack Frost.
Oh my.
Well, this is awkward.
Jack, can you hear us? Alright, Jack will be back when he comes back. But, what was interesting to me is, I lost my train of thought. Jack killed me. What was I talking about? Do you remember? You're not going to remember either, are you?
He froze our brain. Jack Frost.
Okay. My theory is that theoretically,
It could be Bunny.
maybe Kingpin adopted somebody else to have the monocle of Ronin, and he went after the tracksuits. That way he could obtain more control over them. Because Kingpin is just the king of crime. That's just who he is. And I would really hate if there's a situation where Clint Barton is the villain, but Kingpin was like, "Nah, I'll take care of you." Nah, there's got to be a twist there. Kingpin had to have some sort of involvement in this, I believe. I guess it's possible that is not what happened. We need to figure out what's going on with Jack, though. We need to save him.
Yeah, just the way that he freezed, the way he's frozen, just looks like he doesn't agree with you.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. I was
yeah.
about to pause the recording for a second, because with OBS, that's something I can do now. I can just pause.
Did you see me?
I can see you. Can you hear us?
I think it's just a little static here.
Oh,
The video.
he can't hear us.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Don't know what happened there.
It was the funniest image that it was paused on, though. You were like,
"Oh God, it's happening again."
It was great. Wait, is it? Oh God. Okay, we're pausing the recording for just a second. We'll be back. Jack's alive. We got him. Jack's alive.
He's been unfrozen.
That pause button is my new best friend. But Jack, do you have anything to say about these opening scenes with Maya? Maybe any theories you have? Because as far as I'm concerned, this is the beginning of the Wilson Fisk. Like, this is Wilson Fisk's intro into the MCU right here. That's his hand. So, what do you think about this scene? I know, I almost called you Zoe. I have a friend named Zoe, Sher. I know Sher really liked it. I know I loved it. What did you think?
Yeah, loved it.
Great. End of review. Let's go.
I sort of I had the same moment I had with episode 1 where it's like, okay, we've got a little girl who's got a loving father. He's totally gonna die.
Yeah, I knew that too. I was like, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
I knew the comics, so I double knew he was gonna die.
I mean, I don't read many comments, but maybe it's just because it's that trope where a loving parental figure or
child with a parent that loves them.
No, larking, like from the last episode, larking. No.
I mean, the second you saw him in a red tracksuit, though, you knew, right? Like,
I didn't catch that. I missed that completely.
I kind of knew. No, I was saying, like the parental figure or best friend or sibling, like Big Hero 6. It's always some type of, like, good bond, and then they have to die.
Continuing the Disney tradition.
I blame Disney for that.
In the comics, Echo has, I don't know if it's a tattoo or if it's something she draws on her face, but the blood print that her father left, that's actually part of her costume. Like she like outlines it in either a tattoo or makeup of some sort. And I like that they referenced it at the very least.
Yeah. Knowing that, I think it's a good thing they didn't directly have her still have that in this show, because coming off Falcon Winter Soldier, that could be too reminiscent of the Flag Smashers.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly why they didn't do it.
Maybe in her own show, which we know is coming, and I am looking forward to, given this episode.
Oh yeah. I love that they casted an actual death actress. Marvel has also done this with Eternals. I cannot remember the character's name, but the speedster from that was also Death. And
whatever it is, there's the Lego figure.
It adds authenticity. I can't say words. Authenticity. Authenticity. That's the word. Sorry, I'm Kneale.
You're not the only one. I have my moments too.
You're also Kneale?
It sort of adds that authenticity of like the struggle to the scene, especially when she's saying to Clint, "You shouldn't need to depend upon that hearing aid." And of course, the rest of the episode doesn't really have it anymore. I love the scene of her just crushing it under her boot as well. So, time for Kneale read the comics once again. In the comics, there is a whole episode which is dedicated to the idea of sign language. So they do a whole issue where there's no verbal speaking, and you just have to see sign language and the symbols and learn the story by what's going on. I think
the power of show, don't tell.
Yeah, I think there was definitely some adaptation of that with these scenes, especially the heartbreaking scene with Clint and his kid, which might be.
Yeah.
I think that might be some of the best acting Jeremy Renner has ever done, honestly. But we can't skip the action shit. They escape the track.
Probably my favorite part of the episode. Probably my favorite part. No, I actually took some of my own notes, but are like my favorite moments from the episode. Mm-hmm. So I actually put, and I quote, "Arrow at the hand reminds me of that one episode of Victorious."
You give me the weirdest references, Sher. I adore it. Because I watch Victorious, so I know what you're talking about. But Jesus.
Let's just say that Tori gets like an acting gig, and the person in charge is a real, So at the end, she gets her comeuppance, and she has an arrow right through her hand. She has to go to the hospital, and she's let go of the movie, and everyone cheers because she's awful.
I mean, getting shot in the hand is kind of a common trope. Hawkeye has actually used that to save people from falling before. It's essentially a good way to be like, I don't want to kill this character, but I kind of need them out of the fight. Because ain't no one going to move while their hand is literally in the wall.
No.
I do also like just how Clint's bow really kind of has become a superpower. Because the second he gets it, he can defend everybody. He's not even looking when he makes the shots. It's kind of fucking ridiculous in the best way.
Yeah.
My mom says hi.
Hi, Sher's mom.
They're about to go to the post office and get Chinese food.
But I think that overall, it's weird pacing, but it's good weird pacing because it's like, here's our big action scene of the episode. Psych, here's the big one, bitch!
Yes, and the freaking car chase scene was like, oh my gosh.
Directly from the comics.
They used a piece from Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I think it's called A Mad Russian Christmas. I think that's what it is, when they started playing like different variations of like the Nutcracker, but more like that's it. I would know because I went to see a TSO concert like 8 years ago, and I was near the fire pit, and I literally felt the fire when they
I
started.
wish I would have gone. I had an opportunity to.
It-
Why not?
it-
Let's just talk about us this episode. I like experiences. Jack, how did this episode make you feel on a spiritual level?
Good.
You know, I feel like my chakras were really opened by this episode.
Helped you find God. Helped you find God.
Mm.
Me too.
Oh, I need that, but no. Yeah, no, I really liked the sort of fight scene and them breaking out and everything and jumping from bookshelf to bookshelf and the blind shots. I'm really curious about this Kazi guy.
Yeah.
He's a question mark because I have absolutely no clue what to make of him so far.
Me neither, because in the comics he was a torturer and a clown. So now
what?
he's just someone
Wait,
else.
what?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was Kazi the clown. Essentially, he was like the tracksuit's lead assassin. If they needed something to be done, Kazi would go put on his makeup, become his killer persona, and he would go assassinate somebody.
That's great.
Yeah.
I am having a disturbing flashback again. Okay.
I just don't know if he's going to be Kazi the clown in this.
I hope not.
Well, it's not actual clown makeup. Honestly, it looks a lot more like a mime. It's literally just his face is white and there's like a black tear.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're building some sort of romance between Echo and Kazi, potentially. I don't know. I do like that Kazi is the one who's like, we should, like, not be going up against an Avenger.
You're right. I don't know why. And here's one of my weirdest. Did you thought the LARPing thing was weird from the last episode?
Oh god, here we go.
The bar has been set.
I thought they were siblings.
How?
just that vibe reminded me of like a sibling type. I don't know.
Okay, you know, it could
Maybe.
be that too. Maybe it's not a romance. Maybe it's just they're very close friends, you know?
I don't know why. I mean, at least it's not like LARPing levels, but okay.
They're definitely not siblings. I think we would have saw Kazi in the flashbacks if they were.
Yeah.
I know, like in the flashback, but I was just getting that vibe.
Yeah, they're close.
They're close. Like he's literally her interpreter, so that makes sense. I do also like in the comic books, Clint was always a smartass, and that never really made its way to the movies. But here in the show, where Echo's like, "Don't you understand that it's better to not have your hearing aid?" And Clint looks directly at Cade and says, "I can think of some advantages to not having it."
Yeah, some rely too much on technology.
Wait, did you just call Kate
It's in a piece
Cadence?
of string. It's...
Kate? I called her Kate.
I think you said Cadence.
I did not say cadence.
Yes, you did.
You said Kate with a cadence.
I just
Okay,
said
maybe
Kate.
we
I
can
sometimes
do
call her
that.
Katie, because in the comics, it's weird now that Jack calls her Katie. It makes me not like it. But Clint almost exclusively calls her Katie. Like, he never calls her Kate or anything else. What just happened? Hello?
You don't like me?
Jack, you went. Oh, Jack, for a minute, you went silent for me just for 1 second. I was like, "What's happening? What is Jack doing? Why is he disappointed in me?"
I'm realizing this now that the fact there's a character called Jack in the show and there's me. This is gonna get very confusing.
Hey, at least you weren't there at the Rise of the Guardians review.
I really like that film. I wish I was. But...
I love this part where Jack freezes somebody. I didn't do shit.
If anything, I'm the one that freezes. Have we not realized this?
So, I have a question.
Ask.
How many freaking arrows things do they have in the freaking comics? Because there's like a plunger arrow, acid arrow, Play-Doh arrow, a freaking...
Honey, I could tell you. Jesus Christ.
Like,
There
they
is-
were so creative.
There is a whole fucking scene in the comics where it's just a whole page of all his arrows. They got the Bula arrow. They got the Boomerang arrow, which did not make an appearance. The USB arrow He's the one
Yes,
that
USB
Kate
arrow.
uses to shoot Ivan. Freaking. By the way, you know how Kate was like, "What was that arrow called?" That is the tether arrow. I knew that one.
Play-Doh arrow. It's like,
Ironically enough, one of my favorites popped up, and it's not the one you're thinking. Yeah, it's the putty arrow, because Clint in the comics doesn't use the putty arrow to like bash out someone's windshield. He literally uses it to like goo somebody to the middle of the street. He's used it over people's heads to make them like not able to breathe, and then he'll use 2 arrows and poke nose holes. Putty arrow's the best, and I'm glad it at least got a reference.
The archery was really good this episode. I just remembered he pins Echo to the wall by shooting 2 in a cross to pin her. There's a lot of stuff they do throughout this with the arrows.
And he ran over Santa.
Also, I do, like, I know I'm always like, in the comics, but honestly, it's me praising this because they're adapting it so well. The fact that Clint nicked somebody's ear in this, like he nicked Kazi's ear, that is a direct reference to when Clint needs to pull off this perfect shot, right? And if he misses, everything's fucked. He does it, but he does get it a little off and he nicks somebody in the ear. I don't think it was Kazi in the books, but it was just really cool to see that nick and be like, oh, this is the perfect shot Clint had to make to get Kate in the fight. It's honestly like, and I could spoil so much more because those in credits where they show some of the shit that like, you know how there's an in credit scene with a lot of animation and they show things like bottles and that hints at something down the line which I just haven't talked about. But
I really gotta stop skipping the end credits and the intro.
It's just the outros, like the ending credits.
Right.
Although it's beautifully animated, beautifully. Which one was your guys' favorite arrow that you saw today?
Oh, there's a giant arrow, right?
Yeah. The Ant-Man fan is the Pimtech one.
Mm-hmm.
When he mentioned to Kate to shoot up, I had 2 thoughts. Either A, that's the Pimtech arrow, or B, which was even scarier, it's something called the Barrage Arrow, which also involves Pimtech. Essentially using Pimtech, Clint shrunk a bunch of arrows into one arrow, and then if you shoot it right up in the air, they'll all grow big, and a giant barrage just comes down.
Oh my god, that would be so cool and scary at the same time.
It would also kill everybody on that street. They'd just be dead.
It reminds me of in Civil War when he has, funnily enough, Ant-Man on the arrow shoots it and it splits into separate arrows.
So is there just an arrow, like a giant arrow, in the middle of that street now, and nothing that's going to be done with it?
Even then, it's on a bridge as well. It's not even a street.
It's in the way.
People blocking traffic.
What if that would have broke the fucking bridge?
And that little girl that sees the action she has, like that face, she's like...
I also love the jokes of Clint just being deaf and talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When he like circles back in the conversation without knowing she even brought it up, like, yeah, we should walk the dog. Oh god. This is the heart I really needed in the first 2 episodes. I really felt like it wasn't there. And now that it was, like, automatically it got a 10 out of 10 out of me. And I will not regret this ranking because I watched this episode in tears. I cried during the car scene. I cried during the scene with him and his kid.
Yeah.
And I even teared up a little where he was like, I'm not a role model. And I'm sitting there like, this character was my role model half my life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'm automatically nostalgic for this episode. It's important to me now. Could you guys judge it fairly? Because I don't think I can. What is your fair opinion?
Oh right. I also put in here for my. I called it the driving chase scene. I called it Fast and Furious, the Hawkeye edition.
I mean, I feel that.
Even though I have never,
Fast.
even though I have never seen a single Fast and Furious movie. I have never seen any of the
Fast and
movies.
Furious needs more archery. I'm realizing.
Hmm.
Because
I'm trying to think of an archery word beginning with F, so it's fast and
fletching?
Hey, at least they're not
the
quivering.
fast and the fletching. There we go. Oh.
Yeah. Are they quivering with fear?
God, and I was mad at the pun where it was like, this Christmas, the best gifts come with a bow.
Oh,
That one
boy.
was cheesy. That one was just bad.
That was cheesy, but it was always like, it was also like, yeah, you're setting a bar here. What do we think the watch is? Because I know we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
But Clint seemed worried this time because he was like, I don't like the idea of them having Avengers compound gear.
Hmm.
So I'm really curious if that watch might. I think that watch might actually be what you said, Jack. I think it might be the time travel stuff in disguise.
I don't know. I feel like I've sort of turned myself off that theory a wee bit now because it's having rewatched it. It's clearly not the same thing. It could be in disguise.
Mm.
But it's also sort of, you need the pin particles to make it work. So unless you've also got access to those.
If only there was a giant arrow covered with them in the middle of the street.
True.
I can't think of a reason why Kingpin would want Stark Tech. I just can't. I don't know why he would want it. Maybe to sell it, but that's not really his thing. He doesn't really sell things. He organizes crime.
I don't know.
I don't
It
know
could be
either.
like that maybe Tony just won it off in a game of poker one night and he wants it back.
Maybe.
Maybe Spider-Man can figure it out. This is the cutest one, by the way. So this is. Oh yeah, you guys can't see my screen. I forgot. So you can't see these. They're
You're
so
John
cute.
Cena.
They're
Wow.
so cute.
John Cena.
You're gonna rewatch this and be like, oh my god, they're so cute.
Is it the Funko ones?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I love Funko Pops.
I like these ones because they're cute. But
I'm trying to do my best to collect the Disney Princess Funko Pops.
let us get back on topic
Ow!
here. Do we have anything else we want to say about the action scene?
You got stabbed.
Why did you get stabbed?
You okay?
Ow, are you alright?
Yeah.
You shot an arrow.
You just hold up your hand, there's a full arrow in it, and we're like, fuck.
No. Open.
Why do you have that there? That's a tiny sword. Oh, so I get it now. I understand you. I see this.
I've got a few more notes from this episode.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Only thing that I've not addressed, the other thing we've brought up from the car chase scene was it wasn't a one take. It cut and it panned around. But that was a really cool, continuous sort of shot of them getting the car and drive away, and it just kept going for quite a while there.
They have a couple of those in this show. They had that when Kate discovered the Chitauri. They had that when Echo discovered her dad dying, and they had it here. Which, I'll be real, this one's the best one. But, yeah, it seems like that realistic, like, one-track style is kind of just the theme of the show, where it's like, yeah, no, this is the street level Avenger episode of the big Marvel story. So we're going to have some shots that really, you can see all the movements, you can feel it. More notes. Note me up, man.
Um, I mean, you sort of addressed it when I was on pause for a minute there. Why? Why? If that Ronin was Hawkeye, why did he kill her dad? What was he doing? He was in the tracksuit mafia from the looks of things, but why?
It is curious.
Questions.
Because, like, I get that he was just raging out in, like, a different person. I do also like the line where they're like, who killed Ronan? And he's like, Black Widow.
Yeah, I like that. I think that could be interesting thing because we now have Sheep. Everyone's questioning that we brought up Black Widow again. Bring in Yelena because then
Also,
you
if that... Here's
that
the
killed
thing.
the person that.
There are two ways that Yelena could have her revenge. Either A, she kills Clint, or B, she leaks that picture of Valson. Because Clint's life is over if people find out he's Ronin.
Yeah. Got shield protection anymore.
I do think it's going to be revealed that it was Kingpin. Like, I think there's going to be... I think right now the audience is supposed to, like, be in media res. Like, we're supposed to assume, yeah, Clint killed her dad. I do think there's going to be a reveal where it's like, no, I never attacked the tracksuits. I just avoided them because they were so low in the food chain. So I wonder if maybe Wilson Fisk has a role to play here.
Just had an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
And again, comics stuff, who knows?
Yeah.
But if we're taking and adapting and doing what Marvel do and changing things around, we don't know what his deal is yet. And if he's an assassin, what if we change it that he's the one who was hired by Kingpin to do that? Because he was trying to sort of take control of. Like, oh, this is what the tracksuits should be doing. She sort of had to pull rank of, no, remember who's in charge here, we're doing what I say.
That is very smart, actually. I do think it could perhaps be Kazi.
Yeah.
Especially because...
that's my conspiracy theory for this show. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, no, dude. I think you just did the big brain. I think that fits with the comic book character because, weirdly enough, you didn't even know about this before you made that prediction. There's like a sort of romance for a little bit between Kazi and Kate. That way, Kazi can get close enough to like assassinate Clint. So, I don't know, dude. You might be onto this. You might have cracked the fucking code, Jack.
We'll see where it goes.
This is your Mephisto.
This is my Mephisto for this show, yeah.
This is your Kang the Conqueror. You're where I was. I don't think an Eldritch Abomination is going to pop up in this show.
No, but we were close. We were calling that with Miss Minutes, and then the following Marvel thing with What If Episode 1 had
Eldritch Abomination. We also got it with freaking the smoke monster from Loki. I am impressed with how much we got right from Loki. We got a lot right. We got some wrong, but we got a lot right.
Other wee points on sort of Fisk tracksuit relation, what's going on there, is I think Clint says that there's someone above Maya in the tracksuits. Okay, is that Fisk? Is that someone else?
That's totally Fisk.
Maya says, or Kazi says to her, it's like, oh no, we're trying to keep off your uncle's radar with this. So, what's going on? Questions that I'm sure will be answered. I don't think they're left dangling, but questions for now.
I think the show thinks that the viewers weren't going to figure out that it was Fisk. So they're trying to build up the mystery of, who is this uncle character? It's Kingpin. It's gotta be Kingpin.
It was Kingpin all along.
And to me, it sounded like him as well, so...
I will say that if it isn't Kingpin, I am going to be truly shocked. Which, it would be kind of neat if it wasn't.
Yeah, again, because I'm watching it with my younger brother, Hawkeye. his prediction was that Jax, which I don't know quite how that, or Jack, or Jock, or Swordsmaster. Or, I don't know how exactly that would work out with ages and timelines, but that was his prediction, so I'm putting that out there as well.
I do want to voice my friend Pat had a theory. Because in the comics, Jack isn't called Jack, he's called Jock. And essentially, him and Clint had, like, involvement. They were, like, swordsmen trained Clint. Obviously, that's not the case this time because, you know, swordsman and Clint look like they're about the same age. But a theory that my friend had is they're doing an Agatha Harkness, and Jack actually is Jock. And they're going to reveal that in, like, some sort of flashback when Clint actually meets him. So I think maybe the sword to his throat scene is a little more symbolic, where he's going to go, wait a minute, Jock? Is that you? Like, he's going to realize he's been using a fake name this whole time.
I'm going to be a Shang-Chi moment. It's like, you change your name from on. Really?
I think that's just going to be a running gag in the MCU going forward. I don't think that person who, like, pinched her cheek and laughed, I don't think that's Jock. We're dealing with mobsters. We're dealing with the criminal underground. It once again, we were dealing with time travel. It made sense. Kang the Conqueror. We're dealing with organized crime. It makes sense. Wilson Fisk. I just hope it's D'Onofrio.
He could go Tombstone, or I think Hammerhead's already canonically dealt with because he was in, or at least it was his gang in the opening of Far From Home.
That was actually, I believe,
it was someone. It was something like that.
That was Silvermane. Because it was the Manfredi mob.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
And even then, like, that line was deleted, and yeah.
So, I don't know, man. It could be anybody. It could be revealed that that's Tony Stark and he's alive. I don't know. They could do anything, and I'd be willing to see. Maybe that's why he wants the watch. Maybe he wants his fucking watch back. I'm just saying, it adds up.
Yeah.
I do want to give one more theory. I think that there is a chance, and this is my loose cannon theory, that isn't gonna happen, but what if it did? What if, because I still think Sharon Carter's the Skrull. What if Pepper Potts is also a Skrull, and she paid the mob to do this? She hired some low gangsters to go get this watch that's related to Tony, thinking it might be something that it's not. What if it's literally just a watch, but this Skrull thinks that it's Stark tech? I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's nuts. But what if, I want to say it just on the one chance that it is.
If it is, my biggest concern isn't even that Pepper Potts is replaced by a Skrull. Is Morgan okay?
I mean, Morgan could be with Happy. We don't know. Maybe Rhodey's watching Morgan. We don't know. Team effort. But we'll see, man.
Yeah.
Skrulls are on the
Tony
way.
Stuff. We've got Armor Wars. We've got Ironheart. We've got all this stuff in the pipeline. So who knows how early we're going to be setting that up?
And Avengers.
It would be something to do with Pepper Potts because she's kind of been out since Endgame. But yeah, moving on. You mentioned one more note, or
I've got two more notes written, being Slow and Limited. What is this company? I don't know. I don't want to check. I don't want to Google anything. I was trying to I know the name Sloan from something. Is it a Marvel thing?
Sloan.
He's Sloan and Joe Pelling, two people who created Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared on YouTube.
I think there's a comic book writer named Sloan.
So they could just be reference to that, or someone on the crew, or something, or some deep cut.
For some reason, a Doug Sloan immediately came into my head.
Doug
So could be some sort of comic guy. But
Yeah.
And then my last note is just Jack with a Ronin sword. Okay, here we go. What's it happen?
Oh, also before that, like, oh yeah, like I also liked the part where Kate was trying to draw like his costume because he's
Oh yeah.
and I was like, oh, that's funny. And then too, what is it with using the freaking Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy from the Nutcracker as like sneaking in music? Every time it's like around Christmas time and people are trying to sneak in, I keep hearing freaking Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Is it the music or like the what?
It's sneaky.
It's
I don't
sneaky.
trust it.
I was like, yeah, like how the freaking Sugar Plum Fairy ended up being evil in that freaking Nutcracker movie, which still doesn't make sense to me, but okay.
I mean, something I want to talk about. First of all, I'll just say this quick. There's now a behind-the-scenes video out where they show that in the LARPing scene, someone was wearing Clint's comic book accurate costume.
Oh.
They should have put him in that, and I'm angry about it, but at least it was there.
LARPing.
You need to get past this. It's nothing weird. People who didn't watch the first episode aren't going to know your weird sex thing.
For context, check out our...
Yes, the audio's terrible in that one, but check it out so you can hear Cher's opinion on LARPing.
Oh my god.
But yeah, when he draws out, I think this was a really good scene because he's like, I'm not a role model, when obviously he was, whether he wanted to be or not. This episode, Clint kind of came around a little where he was like, you are one of the world's greatest archers, and I think he's appreciating Kate more. Especially, I want to talk about it a little bit because it's the best performance I've ever seen Jeremy Renner give. When he's talking to his son, but he can't hear his voice, and Kate just has to walk him through it.
Yeah, write it out what he's trying to say. Very sincere moment.
And you can see that, like, Haley Steinfeld, I want to compliment too, because she blames herself for why Clint's here. You can see she's tearing up when his son is like, you don't have to come back for Christmas.
Yeah.
Just
you can hear it in Clint's voice as he's answering him a wee bit at the end there.
He'll be home for Christmas.
That scene made my friend Pat cry. It made me cry. It's just, I think whether or not we relate to the character, we can relate to the feeling of like somebody knowing that you're not going to be able to do something, trying to save you and themselves pain by being like, hey, you don't have to. And then you being like, I'm going to, because you don't want to fail them. And let's just be real, he's not going to make it home, is he? Do we think he's going to make it to Christmas dinner?
No, it's a pretty much a coin toss for me at the minute.
I think truly, I think we're going to have a jingle all the way phone call between him and his daughter, where his daughter is just kind of pissed. And then Clint's going to reach his lowest low, where it's like, you keep saying I need to be this dependable hero, Kate. I can't even be a fucking good dad. And, like, I think in general, he's probably beating himself up a lot more about what happened with Natasha and his time with Ronan than what we're seeing. To a point when I think if Yelena does show up in, like, a big capacity, he's literally going to say to her, if it could have been me, I would have let it. She was stronger than me and I couldn't stop it. I wish it was me. I would do anything for it to be me.
It's one of those things I'm curious how much knows about their little mission.
I mean, I think that Yelena is basically being told to go assassinate this Avenger, which I think we still need to question why specifically Val wants to take out Hawkeye. I'm curious about that. I wonder if maybe she has relations to Kingpin. But yeah, that scene, dude. It's one of those things where it's like you have this setup of Clint going death, and you kind of assume, oh, they're adapting it because it was in the comics. But you have the setup so you can do cool shit with it. Like the jokes where Clint can't hear anything. And it really pays off in this emotional scene between him and Nathaniel. It was just... I'm going to tear up if I keep thinking about it. I am. But, yeah, no, it opened my eyes a little bit to Jeremy Renner's version of the character. And I absolutely adored it. So, I guess...
Out of curiosity, does Hawkeye have a wife and kids in the comic?
No. He's
Okay.
actually... During the time of this story, he is divorced. He is currently in a relationship that he doesn't super understand the rules for. Like, he thought they broke up, so he was confused about what was going on in their relationship. So honestly, at the start of, like, the story of My Life as a Weapon, Clint, for all intents and purposes, has very little connection to anybody. And it kind of changes through Kate, and he actually has a whole episode, which is the Christmas episode, which he spends with all his exes. He hangs out with his ex-wife, he hangs out with Black Widow, and he hangs out with his new girlfriend, who I believe was Jessica Drew at the time. It's just nuts. And I love the different direction this is taking, where it's like, no, he is a dad, and they're really playing with that. I love that they didn't just throw the character away.
Yeah. I was a little worried with episode 1. It's like, okay, and... Oh, no, episode 2, I suppose. But get in the car, kids. Off you go. Out the story. Off you go. You get your one phone call, seen an episode. Cool. This is really good. This is possibly the best scene of the episode, you know?
Yeah. And that's saying a lot, because there was a giant fucking arrow falling for this guy. So each...
Which has my one question. Hank Pym was so against Tony Stark and the Avengers getting their hands on his tech in the first Ant-Man movie, and now he's just giving them branded arrows.
Well, Tony Stark's dead.
It's got my logo on it, you know, here.
Tony Stark's dead. And
yeah.
According to the director, if there was one Avenger he could have put in the show, he said he really wanted Ant-Man, because he said Jeremy and Paul had great chemistry together. So...
I imagine that's why Ant-Man shows up in Rogers the Musical for the Attack on New York, then that's your... We'll get him in somehow,
Yeah, there's 2 Ant-Man references in the show, Jesus. But... yeah, no, the Pymtech arrow is from the comics, so I'm really glad they did it. Although in the comics, he doesn't shoot that on a bridge, he shoots it through a building. So I would have loved to see, like, just a huge building with, like, an arrow in the side of it. Fisk Tower, maybe it will happen. I have 2 mysteries I want to pose to you guys. One of the mysteries, I guess, will kind of be mine to answer. Kate mentions that there are 4 arrows that are too dangerous for her to use. We saw 1. What are the other 3? Because I will mention there are 2 really powerful arrows. One is I think you can assume why this one's powerful. One is the nuke arrow, which is a nuke. The other is the arrow of an Elven Ranger, which was given to him by Thor. And it is literally a golden arrow. It looks really cool. If it touches you, you disintegrate. You are nothing. You turn to ash. But the other mystery I want to... Sorry, I coughed. The other mystery I want to pose to you. what do we think the murder mystery is going to come up to? I wanna pose this at the end of every episode because we're at the halfway point. Do we think it's Kate's mom? Do we think Jack is involved with some misdoings? Do we think maybe Kingpin is involved with this too? What do we think?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Oh, I thought you said sure and not share.
Hi, I'm still alive. Just been
Yeah.
very quiet. No,
Do you have theories?
not really. I'm not really good with theories.
Who'd you think the killer was when they killed?
Give it a guess.
People want to call him Harlan, but it's not Harlan. That's still from Knives Out, I'm thinking.
Oh, there was a
Armand.
good reason.
Yeah.
Armin, right. There was a really good reason why I was never good at playing Clue as a kid.
It's
And
Cluedo.
I...
British is Cluedo. But okay.
So your theory is that it could just be Jack then? Like, maybe he's not a red herring?
Maybe.
It would be really funny if you responded maybe, it ends up being Jack, and you're like, I called it! And I'm like, I can't do that!
I don't know.
Jack, who do you think it is?
I mean, technically, I was kind of right about the whole Agatha thing, but that was like long back though. So
That was... Wow,
What?
WandaVision came out this year. Jesus.
well, yeah.
Oh,
Remember, I wasn't involved in a Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but you came back for Loki.
Right.
the best of the shows.
Yeah.
I
mean-
so far.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. 3 more episodes, we'll see.
I think again, it being Jack is the obvious answer, but I'm not going to hold it against them if that's the way they go, because that was fun. If it is Kate's mom as well, that'd be interesting. She sort of was doing it with the swords and everything, that it looked like it was him, or just because that was the weapon she had to hand, because they're all over her apartment.
Mm.
But then also now that we do have Kingpin in the ring, okay, adding to my Kazi theory, but sticking with the Kazi theory core as it was before, could it have been him? I mean, Kingpin, it's going to be different from the Netflix shows, I know. But he's had, here's my personal hitman for the moment, and you're going to dress up in this outfit that a previous different superhero wore, and you're going to go kill people.
Wait a minute. I just realized something.
Hmm.
Who the fuck was running the auction in the Criminal Underground, like from episode 1? Because
Someone who owned a Triceratops skeleton.
yeah, I mean that's true. It could be another dinosaur. We don't know. But here's the thing. I think naturally I had been assuming, oh, it's Armand and oh, it's Jock. They run it. But here's the thing that is tripping me up now. They were participating in the auction.
Yeah.
So clearly
were
it
bidding.
wasn't theirs. Meaning, could it have been Kate's mom holding the auction, like, because she didn't need to be there?
Only murders in the auction.
So I feel like it was Kate's mom. She would have just given Jack the sword.
Yeah. So that really makes me wonder, what the fuck was that auction? Because it can't be Kingpin, because obviously Kingpin's the one who wants the watch. Like, I think we've all figured that out by now. So...
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, if it was Kingpin and Kingpin has this connection to the tracksuits, why rob his own auction? You know?
But then Maya and the tracksuits were wanting to stay under his radar with what they're currently doing, from the sounds of it.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe they did rob his auction. I guess that is possible. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I guess
We're still even assuming that it's Kingpin.
there is one character from the comics I think could be I think could be the one who killed him. I won't say who the character is. I will just mention that their name starts with the letter B. That way, if they do show up, I can be like, that's who it was.
Black Widow.
Natasha's still alive.
Huh?
Everybody's
Yelena?
still
Yelena?
alive.
Or Elena.
What if we start doing a joke where we're like, oh, it's Paul Bettany, and at the end we see a white Vision in a white suit, and it's like, I'm the kingpin of crime now.
Oh, jeez.
I do also think it's possible there's more than one Ronin, and Kazi has taken up that role. I think you're on to it, Jack. I think you're on to it.
That's my mad conspiracy theory. You've got your scroll idea. I'm going with this.
I would think it would be like hilarious if it were a Knives Out situation and it turned out that he offed himself somehow. But,
Like sort of an inverse of it. It's like even then possibly the same thing. No, I hate my family. I'm gonna make it look like my nephew did this.
Oh yeah. Oh, I would love that if it's like
I invited
fuck
him over,
you,
I gave him
Jack.
some candy, and then I killed myself.
Oh, Jack, you bought a sword tonight? Maid, be gone with this sword while I just sit here and die. But I don't know. It feels like we don't have enough clues yet to solve the mystery. But that's what I said about episode 3 of What If, too, where I was like, how are we supposed to know which character is killing all these Avengers? And then it was Ant-Man, and all the clues were there.
Yeah.
So, let's go into our final rankings for the episode and final thoughts. I'll go first, because I've already said my ranking several times. The episode made me cry. It adapted some stuff from the comic perfectly, even down to Kate not knowing what the arrows were before they were shot. Perfect adaptation. I cried for multiple reasons. I felt this episode. I'm going to watch it so many times in the future just to feel good. And the heart that I've been lacking from this character really came out this episode. It's a 10 out of 10. I'm not going to give it an 11 because we're supposed to only give 11s if it's like, this is truly, truly magnificent. And I don't think this episode was better than episode 5 of Loki. That's a very high bar, though. I think this is, like, I think I was right. I think the first 2 episodes were kind of the building slow burn, and now we're on fire. I really hope the next couple of episodes keep this up, because so far I love it. I really love it. Yep, so you guys, whoever wants to go next, Sher, you.
Oh, right. Right. I am definitely not in the game right now. It's me sleepy. But
we started a little late. It's okay.
Yeah.
it's okay.
Overnight here right now.
But like I said, freaking beginning, I was already in tears. Like I mentioned, Arrow to Hand reminds me of that one episode of Victorious. Bunch of arrows were used in that Fast and Furious Hawkeye edition scene. TSO was playing during that scene too, which was like, yes, because I love Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Oh, I wish they came back to Vegas. Oh, Clint ran over Santa.
Homicide.
But he's a magical being. He just wacky waving and flail arm flailed his way back up again, you know?
All wacky waving arm flailing 2 men are magical.
Yeah, Clint without his hearing aid was really funny. But then again, it's just a normal Wednesday, right?
So,
Yeah.
What is your ranking, my dear?
Sweet Gingerbread Lane. That was actually good and funny. And then final.
The Gingerbread song during the credits I also liked. I was bobbing to that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I definitely heard It's a Marshmallow World. I know that one. Yeah, and then the whole dance, the sugar plum berry sneaking in.
But what is your
Yeah.
ranking? Give us the number.
9.
Oh, 9. That's
No.
good.
Yeah, I like it.
So we're at 19 already. Here comes Jack with the 3 to keep us down.
I mean, I
Did you like it better than the other 2? I want to know that.
so this episode, it was good.
Uh-huh.
The car chase was great. The phone call was great. The rest of it was interesting. Kingpin, please. Please leave us in the Onofrio's Kingpin.
The Echo origin story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this episode felt short to me. It was shorter than the previous 2, but it felt really short to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't feel much happened. It was Echo backstory, escape. Cool. Leave it in. What was it? We're gonna sneak into my mum's apartment, even though we could probably just get in through the front door. Like the doorman knows me personally. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If they did anyway, they just came up in the lift. It just, if I don't really have any problems with the episode, and I didn't dislike it. I'm torn between giving it a 7 again, like the previous 2, possibly a 6.5. But the phone call scene was really good.
Here's the thing. This is what you got to figure out. Did you like it as much as the other 2, or did you like it more? And if you can figure that out, you'll know where to put it.
As much as.
Then it sounds like a 7.
That's a 7 from me.
So it did go up. The ranking did go up.
Yay!
I believe the other ones were me and Sher both gave 8s, and you gave a 7.
It was a 23, a 23, and now a 26.
All right, so it's climbing. 26 out of 30 is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I just want to bring up my one glaring issue with this episode. Which, had it been someone else in the Tracksuit Mafia, wouldn't have had a problem with it, but because it was Kazi, I have a problem with this.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of last episode, Clint manages to get their hands free, and okay, now we're gonna duct tape them to these fairground kids rides, and that was funny. Go get another quarter, keep them going. That was funny. But then the only reason Clint escaped here was because Kazi came over, cut him free, just to tie his hands behind his back with something weaker so he could break out. That was the stupidest thing you could have done.
Well, here's the thing. You know why he cut his hands free? Echo saw the... Yeah, she thought he was going to sign.
So tie him back up again. So he ties him with like a cloth or a bandage or something?
Yeah, it looked like a rope or something. I get that. I get being a little nitpicky there.
That's not even nitpicky. If I'm right about Kazi being this hitman for the Kingpin or something, I don't even know if I'll be able to take him seriously because he made such a stupid decision here.
Well, you could also make the argument. Here's the thing. I'm going to use your own logic against you.
Oh no.
Let's say Kazi did kill her dad, right? Well, then, if Clint reveals, I'm Ronin and I was never there, that's problems for Kazi. So he's like, maybe I'll use this thinner material so this fucker can get out of here. I mean, I gotta put up a fight, but maybe he wanted him to escape.
That's the actual big brain play there.
I'm just saying, maybe it was. Maybe it's literally like he knows he's Ronin and he's like, if she figures this out, I'm in trouble. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah. And it does facilitate the rest of that fight scene, which is great. Again, I don't know who the fight choreographer is for this show, but so far it's been great. Episode 1 down in the cellar. episode 2, even just the basic stuff of throwing the Molotovs, shoots the arrow through the window, smashing the Molotov, hitting it against the car. That was great. This episode was great. Kate sort of grabbing onto the pillar to swing herself around and knock his legs out. Great stuff. I'm loving it.
Yeah, weirdly enough,
more than a 7.
when I'm thinking back, I think I like the fight scenes in this better than Loki, because even though Loki had magic in some of them, when it's actually just a fight scene, it's like, yeah, standard fight scene, pretty good. I think the fact that this character uses a bow and he's using it like for physical combat, I think that's a new direction we don't super see a ton.
Yeah. Close up.
They didn't have the
archery
budget to do some of this stuff in Arrow. They just didn't. But yeah, so that's our rankings. A pretty good, 26 out of 30. That just means 4% for error. That's pretty damn good. I'm pretty sure that episode of Clone Wars is still our highest rated thing, though.
Most likely.
So, yeah, we're at the end here. You guys want to plug yourselves? Sure, I know you don't have much in the way of plugging, but you exist. People can find you here. But Jack,
Yeah.
do you want to plug your stuff?
Oh, okay.
Oh, do you have stuff to plug? I'm sorry.
I know I don't have a YouTube channel or whatever. I'm pretty sure I don't have time to do a YouTube channel. Like I said in the previous episode, sorry if anyone wanted to see more Sherry to this viz, but I am really busy with nursing school right now, and I don't think I'm gonna have time to do a YouTube channel. So if you want more stuff from me, go subscribe to Kneale because But I do have a Facebook and Twitter, so should be my first and last name for both. If not, you could always look up Sherry the Dizviz for Twitter one. But yeah, cool beans. Also on Skype as well. But I learned my lesson before from during the birthday, so.
Jack, do you want to plug your stuff?
Yeah. Just, as usual, just going to plug my YouTube channel at the minute. I'm back. I'm uploading more on that now. Just recently, at time of recording, it will probably be the most recent video. Maiden Abyss, which was a really good show. It was just the one season, and there was a movie. And now the trailers dropped for the second season, and I watched that, and I have almost no clue what's happening because it's a prequel. But I'm really looking forward to the next season of that. My reaction to that trailer just went up. And then, yeah, My Hero Academia. Next episode of that. Ooh, that's a doozy. Without going into it too much, it ties in with a separate series that I was reading, and character crossovers and big twist reveals in this next episode. So tune in for that.
Hawkeye pops up.
I don't even think there's an archery character in My Hero. Oh.
It would be neat if there was a character without a quirk that took up archery or something like that. That'd be neat.
I've just thought of Moomin Rider from One Punch Man. It's like, no superpowers, just as a bike.
All right. My updates. There's stuff going on. Most recently, that my PlayStation 4, which I use for all of my streaming, just decided to crap out on me. So we are on a temporary break from streaming. It sucks, but it is completely and utterly unavoidable. We are figuring out ways around it. Hopefully I can be back in a couple days, maybe. If not, we might have to wait for February, which is the scariest of news, but we'll see. I do also want to mention, because I wanted to mention this online, that I was able to get first day opening No Way Home tickets. So if anybody, which was very difficult to do, I actually got extremely lucky. I got my favorite seat in the theater, I got IMAX, and I got tickets on day one. The problem, I got them at noon. So I'll be seeing a movie a little early, but who cares? It's Spider-Man. I want to know from the people who are watching these videos, would you want to see a review of that? Which is just me, because I don't know if anyone else would be able to get tickets for that day because it's really packed. Like, oh my god, it took me, like, I'm in Indiana. We're not popular. And
Yeah,
yet,
I'm in Vegas, so
there is no reality where my movie theater should be full for like 7 different days, and it is. I got super lucky. No one's going to be able to see this movie. So, do you
yep.
guys want to see that? Let me know.
I'm still waiting for Encanto, so
Well, the Captain Marvel review. The first thing I had to review, because they're in order, is, I believe, actually Captain America the First Avenger, which I love. Somebody corrected me on that in the last video. I guess also you could make the argument for Eternals, but the main story of that takes place during frickin' modern times, so I don't count that. But yeah, we'll start with first of it. Oh no, wait, I was doing it in order of what I hate. I forgot.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing chronological.
I was about to say you hate the first Captain America.
That's what it threw off there.
Mentally, I'm trying to get out of it.
Yeah, we did a review of that last year, and all I could remember from that movie was seeing a Wicked poster.
Listen. My brain is trying to cope and mentally get me out of this. I'm trying to avoid it, but that should be out sometime in the next week or so. Since I currently can't stream, it actually means that these things will come out quicker because I have more time to just sit down and do computer stuff.
Remember when Brie Larson sang in a Barbie movie?
She did do that.
No.
Jack didn't watch Barbie.
No. Remember when Brie Larson was in Community?
No. I didn't watch
Remember
Community.
when Brie Larson was in Scott Pilgrim?
I remember Scott Pilgrim. But Sher didn't see that one, so now we have it all.
No, actually, I did. Before Stardust shut it down, there was like some type of challenge where you could watch. I think someone recommended something for that day, and then it was a challenge to watch multiple movies or TV shows, and then whoever won got like 500 or like $50 Amazon gift card or something like that. I got like 3 of those, by the way. Like, I was lucky, so thank you, Stardust. I still miss you guys. I can't believe you guys been terminated since June, but whatever.
They gave you money.
Yeah, they gave me money for like the hottest animated character, Jessica Rabbit. Best fight scene, Captain America: Civil War. That's also what I won. The list goes on, but yeah. So I actually did watch Scott Pilgrim for the very first time. I want to say earlier this year because I remember my mom was doing my hair because my hair is almost as long as Jack's.
Jack's hair is glorious, though.
It is, though. No, I remember because I remember watching it on Netflix, and then she was wondering like what was good. Cousin It.
You do look like it.
I can't do a Snoop Dogg impression, though.
Let me do that with my hair.
No, every time I do something like that with my hair, I always end up being called like Samara from The Ring.
I could see that. Your hair is black.
Well, technically dark brown, but yes.
But,
yeah, like when I.
So you did see Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
Yes, that was the.
That was the conversation.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got to end on a joke. You guys got anything? I'm holding a cat now.
We have hair.
We have hair.
There we go. We all got our faces covered. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see
24 days till Christmas.
This technically is hair in my face.
Well, happy, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, happy holidays. I don't want to exclude anybody.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week, where hopefully Kingpin shows up and Hawkeye shoots more arrows.
And I stop talking about LARPing.
You got to deal with this, lady.